Shalom, Charlie Kirk.
How are you, my friend? Thank you for having me, and God bless you.
It's an honor to talk with you here, the founder and leader of the most important organization in the United States, Turning Point USA. We really, your organization is really great. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I have to say, before we get started, you and your terrific organization, Tirtzu, gave me the most amazing tour of the Holy Land. My understanding of Judea and Samaria increased amazingly. My good friend Amit, who does some great work as well, I know you know Amit, is a true hero for Israel and for the world. And so God bless you for the important work that you're doing to advance truth and to advance facts and logic. You're a good man. Honored to be speaking to you today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Charlie, the United States is an important country for all mankind. Hundreds of millions of people owe their freedom and their liberty and their life to America. And it's not a slogan. You can calculate it. Millions of people around the world, South Korea, Europe, the United States supply food and shelter to countries in Africa. So many things. You fought communism, you fight world terror. It's an amazing country. On the other hand, when we look as an observers, yes, as foreigners, we're looking at the United States and seeing that sometimes the left, the far left in the United States is like getting far from the unbelievable values that America was built on, is great because of those values. What exactly is going on with this crazy left?
Well, thank you for the kind words about America. The world is a freer, more prosperous place because of the United States of America. America is a place of history, and it is a land, and it is a people of great tradition. And we have to understand that the history of America is very unique because America made missteps, and we had issues with, all sorts of different sins of the past and how we've come past those. But the downfalls of not downfalls, but the negatives of the American history are universal. The positives are unique. And as you've mentioned, the United States of America is the most generous, benevolent, forward-thinking country in the entire world. And, we're really at a turning point right now in our country in a variety of different ways. And, we have to recognize that America's presence in the world needs to be one of not necessarily trying to change other countries, like I think we made a minor misstep in our foreign policy in certain regions of the world in the last 30 or 40 years, specifically in Vietnam and Iraq, but instead to be ambassadors for our ideas of free enterprise, of limited government and the Constitution. And I think the American experience is one that is so unique to our country, and it is one of strong borders. It is one of common language, and it is one of freedom and liberty. And I thank you for your kind words about our country, and we're going to continue to fight every single day for those ideas and for the history of America.
How can you explain that congresswomen like Ilhan Omar or others are sometimes talk so bad against your own country and criticize those great values?
Yeah, Ilhan Omar is an ingrate, and in English that means someone who has no gratitude and someone that has they're not thankful for anything that has been given to them before. She's also a bitter anti-Semite. She has nothing nice to say about Israel, about the Jewish people, or about Israel's right to exist or defend its own borders. She has an equal hatred for Israel and for America, but a fondness for Iran and for Islamic theocratic dictatorships all across the world. And look, one of the positives of America is you can speak your mind even against our government. And with that, you're going to have people that are so misinformed. The issue is that we're platforming her way more than we should. We shouldn't take her seriously. I mean, unfortunately, she's an elected representative in our country, but she's so misinformed. She has such vile and venom for the United States of America, first and foremost. But also she talks about Israel with such hatred, Matan. She doesn't understand the issue. She doesn't wish to, because if she actually understood it, it's Israel that is the only source of humanitarian support for the entire region. It is Israel that has stood up for the people of even her own religion in the region, more so than even whatever the Palestinian Authority says that they are. And so we have to stand up against these lies. And she represents a very serious and disturbing trend in our country, where you decide to be nothing more than a force of negativity and ingratitude in the face of the United States of America being a force of benevolence and goodness to the world.
This is amazing that people who criticize Israel are a lot of time the same people who criticize the values who made America great. And it's amazing that Israel provides more human rights than any other country in the Middle East. It's a free country, can provide more safety than any other country in this area. And the United States, the same. It's an amazing country. Something also that is very similar is that Israel cannot survive if the people in Israel will not have a strong belief in its values. The United States will not continue to be so great if people will not have a strong belief in the cause. And here, I know that your movement works very strong in campuses. Can you explain us a little bit why it is so important for your movement to have so much activities in campuses?
Such an important point, and something that I think the United States of America needs to learn from Israel is how to control your borders and control your immigration. Israel, I mean, you guys are very, very clear in saying that you're not coming to our country if you hate our country. It's just not going to happen. And I think the United States of America needs to think about that. I'm not saying we need to embrace it in the same sense, because you're obviously in a different geopolitical position. But I don't think it's wise for America to continue immigration policies when there's people that don't even appreciate our history and speak our language. And I think there's something to think about there. And I think Israel, you guys are wise in entertaining that. So that's number one. Number two, with the campuses, look, we have these institutions that are basically programming the next generation to hate our country. And so you have it from both forces. I just previously mentioned immigration. And then you have these universities of overpaid professors that are focused on really demonizing two countries, America and Israel. Isn't that funny how that works? And it seems as if they're very effective at it, Matan. And this is my life's work, is to try to convince young people to be thankful that they live in America, to understand the founding principles, to understand why our history is unique and exceptional, why we need strong borders, why we need a unified language. And I think this is something that the universities are diametrically opposed to. And I know that in Israel, you have shared experiences with that. You and I spoke when I was last in Israel about a year ago about how the universities are a lot of problem points at times in Israel, because it seems as if it's filled with a lot of professors that have never lived in the real world, and they consider themselves to be so enlightened that they want to try to take down a country from within.
The difference is also that, unfortunately, in Israel, there is a lot of foreign governmental involvement. European governments give a lot of money to NGOs in Israel to try to change us from within. And from what I see, in America, you don't accept it very well. You have the FARA, the Foreign Agent Law. And also I saw a very big criticism against Russia for even post some Facebook posts in the election. In Israel, the foreign involvement is something unbelievable, and it's something that we also try to take down, to make it far, because it's really it can endanger our life in Israel. And but from the other side, I know that in the United States also we have a problem that sometimes foreign countries, foreign governments buy faculties in campuses. I heard that Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken, have really faculties. This is also foreign involvement.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And so look, I think that we need to ask ourselves the question, those of us that are working on these campuses. What is our end objective and goal? And for us, it's to save the United States of America from certain people that are trying to contribute to its decline. And this is true amongst the entire Western world. We have Turning Point UK, and one of their biggest problem points is what's happening on the campuses. And so the education of the next generation around our ideas of strong borders and around the ideas of a free enterprise system, around the ideas of liberty and the Constitution in our country are paramount. It's fundamental to the success and the longevity of the United States of America, and also for the success of Israel.
As a leader of an organization, I know for sure that you cannot be happy, right? You need always to be very concerned, very alert, because the challenges are very big. And also me, you know, Tirtzu is the largest Zionist movement in Israel. You don't have time to be happy. You don't have this luxury. You always need to be alert. The challenges are very big. From the other hand, I see the success, the popularity of Turning Point USA, and I see the success and the popularity of Tirtzu, and now you mention Turning Point UK. So maybe there is a place for optimism, no? Because people are seeing the truth. They want to see the truth, no?
That's right. And so, look, activism is very important. We can't allow the left to monopolize activism, and we need to be in the pursuit of truth. And so when I go to a college campus and I see the venom towards the nation state of Israel with no understanding of the issue, and you've seen some of these Facebook posts and Instagram posts I've done, Matan, where I talk about Judea and Samaria. I talk about the Israeli retreat from the Gaza Strip that has resulted into basically one of the largest hotbeds of terrorism in the entire world, where I talk about the abuses of the Palestinian Authority against its own people, about how Mahmoud Abbas uses the money given to him by Western nations to send missiles after Israeli children, not feeding the people of Judea and Samaria. And I don't even like to call it Palestine. I don't even want to give them that sort of credit. I don't. And I think it's yielding way too much ground to even do that. And so I think that we need to be in the pursuit of truth here, and understanding the region, understanding the complexities of it, I think is paramount. And Israel has done nothing but fought defensive wars, not offensive, defensive wars since its legal founding. The moment that Israel was founded, you were under attack from every single direction. And I always ask people a couple questions. Number one, how could Israel be the villain that on their most holy day, Yom Kippur, every Arab nation decides that's the day they're going to go after Israel? 6 countries coming at Israel at once when Jews are fasting and they are praying. And that was almost the end of Israel as we knew it. And actually seeing that history and understanding the breach of trust and just that's a line you should not cross. Could you imagine if Israel attacked any other Arab country offensively on Ramadan? It would be unthinkable. Secondly, as this, in the words of the great Dennis Prager, if Israel laid down their guns, Jews would cease to exist in the Middle East and Israel would be wiped off the face of the earth. If the Arab countries and the offensive Arab countries, specifically Hezbollah, the Palestinian Authority, and Hamas, funded by the Iranian maniacs and the mullahs from Iran, if they stop firing and they stop fighting, we'd have peace. I think that's the lesson that everyone needs to take away from what's happening currently in the Middle East.
The way that you framed it now, by the way, it's one of the reasons that I'm saying that also your movement and you personally are like maybe the biggest defender of Israel in campuses today. I really appreciate what you're doing, Charlie.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
That's very kind.
God bless you, Charlie. Toda rabba. Thank you very much for this interview.
God bless you. Thank you. See you soon in the Holy Land next year in Jerusalem. So see you, my friend.
Thank you.